Hey guys, today we're going to do a quick game review. There was a bunch of mistakes that I made in this game, and I want to review. Now, as you can see, it was all over the place. So we're going to do a nice review and see what went wrong. I started with e4 as I always do. This is a Sicilian. I only know to play the Alpin. So we just go right into the Alpin. We trade in the center. Sorry, I just took a sip of my drink. My opponent takes on d4, plays e6. I play f3. They check on b4, and then I block with my knight. So everything is good so far. So Stockfish says I should have pushed here instead of attacking, because I guess it doesn't really pin anything. Pushing in the center is much better. So he brings out his queen. I castle. And then he attacks my knight. And I should have just went back. So I think maybe Stockfish thinks this is a mistake because I get to keep the bishop pair if I just retreat. Anyway, I develop. And then he attacks my rook. I see it. I get out of the way. He moves to e7. And then I attack his bishop. So he should have taken, but, g6 also works as well. I get out of the way. Stockfish wants me to take here. Now, why is that? Let's see what happens. If I take, then he takes, and then what? Okay, it's loading. All right, I don't really see much of a difference between both those lines. I'm not really totally agreeing with everything, but obviously, Stockfish is a supercomputer, knows better than I do. All right, whatever. Trade on c6. We exchange. Then I go to attack his bishop. He gets out of the way. And this is where I start making mistakes. So I go to trade the bishops. We exchange again. I take with my knight as opposed to my queen. So Stockfish prefers if I do that because it puts more pressure on his bishop. He attacks me. And this is where I made a mistake. So I should have played queen out of the way because check this out. This is what happens to me now. My knight gets attacked, and I'm just going to lose the knight. So I figured, all right, well, I guess we'll just trade queens. And we do, but I'm down in exchange. And there's nothing I could do. I miscalculated that. And then my opponent miscalculated that he hung a rook fork. So I fork his rooks. He gets out of the way, but I still take a rook. But now the game is pretty much even. I'm deciding, all right, I guess I should get my knight to a more active square because on the edge it's not really doing anything. He goes to defend the pawn because my knight's attacking that pawn. Then I got my rook to the open file. And he starts pushing his pawns. And then I'm like, all right, I guess it's time to get the kings into the game. I push my rook to d7 to put more pressure on the 7th rank. And then he gives me check. I get out of the way. And then he's starting to come in. And then the game. This is just an even game here right now. Nothing really going on. We're pretty much fighting for that pawn. In my head, I'm like, all right, I guess we'll just exchange now. Because I'll just be up a pawn straight up if I do this. So I take, he takes, and now I'm totally winning. And we're gonna see the moment where I decide to throw the game, which is right here. So I think the king was gridlocked here, and I could have just moved my king in, my knight in to add more pressure, but it's just way too late at that point. We're tied. I should have went backwards because then he just takes my pawn. And this is where things start crumbling. Yeah. So I figured by doing that, I would block his entry to getting in, but he could still get in no matter what. And then he's winning again. And then I make a mistake by not taking the pawn that's defended. I just exchange here. I just have not been playing the best moves. And the worst move is coming up because I just straight up hang my knight, and there's literally no hope for me now. I realize, okay, I just totally lost. And we exchange, and that's it. So this was just a game filled with mistakes. I don't really have much of an excuse. I'm not playing great lately, and I can't really figure out what it is. Maybe I'm just like overworked and tired. I'm trying not to play too much because I want to keep my brain fresh. So I don't think I'm going to play as much today. I'm going to give myself a break. And that's why I decided to do a low pressure video, because I think I might be playing way too much chess and just burning my brain out. So I'm going to just try to relax a little bit, and I'll play more when I feel better. But there's a game review. All right, guys. Hope this was helpful.